This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Sorry, so let's continue. So let us discuss about what screen exits. Okay, so what is the purpose of screen exits? To plug what additional fields. To plug the additional fields, we go for what screen exits. Okay, function exit. What we are going to do? We are not going to add additional fields on the existing standard SAP fields only. We are going to impose what additional validations. Okay, so let us discuss about this particular screen exit. So the exact meaning of screen exit is something like this. Assume that we have some standard SAP transaction. Try to understand. We have some standard SAP transaction which has got some fields. Okay, try to understand. So there are some three fields available. These fields are given by whom? SAP itself. Okay, now my requirement is, in this standard SAP transaction, I want to plug some additional fields. Why we have to plug additional fields? To capture some additional data specific to our customer. We are going to add what additional fields. I repeat once again. The purpose of adding additional fields is what? If the standard fields are not sufficient to capture your customer data, then as part of our customer business requirement, we are going to plug what additional fields. We are going to plug the additional fields. Okay, and one more thing you have to understand is, not every SAP transaction is enhanceable. Means I cannot add the additional fields wherever I want. Okay, so customer will come to you saying that, okay, I'm having this particular SAP transaction. In this transaction, I want some additional fields at so and so place. So what I mean to say is, I cannot add additional fields wherever I want. We need to check whether SAP has provided any screen enhancements for that particular transaction. If they have provided the screen enhancement, then we can add the additional field. So blindly we cannot add the additional fields wherever we want. And whatever the additional fields we are going to add, they are generally added inside what? Subscreen. They are generally added inside what? Subscreen. So in our basic ABAP, we know about subscreen. What is a subscreen? A subscreen is a part of a what? A subscreen is a part of a main screen. So what we'll do is, and we already know that a subscreen cannot sit directly on what? Normal screen. So assume that this is your normal screen. So already we know in module pool we have normal screen, subscreen, and model dialog box. So subscreen cannot sit directly on what? Normal screen. Subscreen should always be placed on top of what? Subscreen area. So what we can say, a subscreen area is a container of what? Subscreen. A subscreen area is a control which can hold what? Subscreen. So what you have to do is, we require one subscreen area. On top of that subscreen area, the subscreen will come and sit. Inside that subscreen, we can add what? Additional field. So if you see this requirement here, so assume that on behalf of Tata business requirement, I am adding some two additional fields. These two additional fields are specific to which customer here? Tata. Similarly, here in the same transaction, according to Reliance business requirement, we want some additional fields. So again, these additional fields are placed on behalf of which customer here? Reliance. Okay, so first what you have to understand is, we need to check whether that particular standard SAP transaction is enhanceable or not. Means we need to check whether that screen contains, whether the transaction contains what? Screen exits. I mean to say screen enhancements. If it is having screen enhancements only, I can add the additional fields. And one more thing is, I cannot add the field wherever I want. Okay, SAP will provide one area. In that area only we can add what? Additional fields. What should be our agenda? Our agenda is what? To capture some additional data. So where you add the fields is not important. The agenda is what? Whether we are adding the additional fields or not. So customer will say that I want the additional field at so and so place. So it's not possible. We have to check where SAP has provided that plugin. In that area only we can add what? Additional fields. Hope it's clear to everyone. Any questions on this? Done. So what I'll do is I'll take one simple example to understand this. Let me take a transaction code called as MP01. So yesterday we have seen the T code what XG01 customer create. Similarly related to MM module, we have a T code called as what MP01. MP01. It is a standard transaction approved manufacturer parts list. Okay, so we need not worry about what is the purpose of the transaction code. Our job is we need to check whether it is enhanceable or not. If it is enhanceable, I should be able to enhance it. That's all. What that particular transaction will do, it is not our job. It is the job of a functional consultant. So if you come across a transaction which you have not used earlier, we have to sit with the functional consultant to understand how that particular transaction works. Okay, so as an ABAP consultant, we may not know the functionality of what we may not know the functionality of what each and every transaction, and we need not know also. Okay, so the customer will come to you or the functional concern will come to you. He will provide us a T code and he will say that in so and so transaction I want the additional field. So what you have to do, we need to sit with that particular functional consultant and understand how to navigate in that particular transaction, because we don't know about anything about the transaction. We don't know what is the test data I need to provide. We don't know how to navigate from one screen to another screen in the transaction. That is the reason we have to take the help of functional consultant to understand the how that particular transaction works. So what I will do initially is, let us try to run this MP01. So I'm having some problem with my server. It's getting disconnected every time. Yeah. So here I'll run the T code MP01. MP01 done. So when I run the T code MP01, I got a transaction might contain what n number of screens. Okay, so I got the initial screen related to that particular transaction code. What is this? Maintain approved manufacturer parts list. It is asking some material number, internal material number. So just browse this and try to provide some existing material. So when I continue here, it is showing you what lots of materials. Okay, so for practice purpose, what I'll do is I'll just provide one material, J4360. Any material you provide doesn't matter, just you have to provide one existing material. So I just browsed it, I got one material by name what J4360. Done. Do we have any other buttons to click here? We don't have, so we need to take the help of functional consultant to understand how to navigate to the next screen. So since I don't have any buttons here, let me just press enter. Okay, I'll press enter here. Let me check whether I'll able to go to the next screen or not. So when I press enter, okay, done. Understood, I got the next screen. I got some ALV report kind of thing here, done. So now, acha. So let me just go back to the previous screen. Yeah, this is my previous screen. So as I told you, I cannot add the additional fields wherever I want. Okay, a transaction might contain n number of screens. We don't know in which screen we can add the additional fields. That we will know only after identifying the exit and by reading the documentation of that. Okay, so this is my initial screen. Your customer may come to you and say that I want some additional fields here. So we cannot say yes. Okay, we have to check whether it is enhanceable or not. So as of now, I'm pressing enter here. I got some report kind of thing here done. And you can see on the application toolbar, we have some buttons here. I don't know the functionality of these buttons. Let us try to check the help here. What is the description here? Other AMPL. So when I click on this, again it is taking back to the initial screen. So that is not the appropriate button. Fine. Let me go inside again. I'll press enter. What is the next one here? Details button, it seems. When I click on details button, I'll try to click on details button. I got some details related to this. So I got the details of something here, done. Then what is this here? Maintain text. I'll click on maintain text. Let's see what happens. When I click on that maintain text, let's see what does it do. I clicked on that maintain text. It is opening me some editor, script editor. So in scripts and smart forms, we'll get this editor. It is opening me some editor where I have to maintain some text. Okay, fine. This may not be appropriate for me. I'll go back. What is the next button here? Delete it seems. Again, this is not appropriate. What is this? Select all. Again, this is for selecting all the things. This is for what? Deselecting. Okay. So these are not my appropriate buttons. I'll do one thing. I'll select one of the entry. In my report, I'll select one of the entry. What is that? J2003 and what is the manufacturer Reynolds. I'll just select this. I'll click on what details button. Okay. When I click on details button, yeah, I got some screen here. So what I'm trying to say here is, as part of this transaction, we are able to visit how many screens? We are able to visit some 3 screens. This is my initial screen. Okay, so I don't know where the additional fields will come and sit. Whether it is in the inside the initial screen, let me press enter, or inside this particular screen, or let me choose one entry here, any entry. I'll click on what details. I'm getting some other screen. So overall, this transaction contains some 3 screens. So what are the additional fields I'm going to add? I don't know in which screens those additional fields will be populated. So okay, this is the functionality of this particular what transaction code. So now what is my job? I need to check whether this particular transaction is what enhanceable or not. What kind of enhancement you want to do here? You want to plug what additional fields. So if you want to plug additional fields, I need to check for what type of customer exit, screen exit. Yesterday we are trying to implement what additional validation. So we went for what function exit. We went for a customer exit containing what function exit. Now I need to look for customer exit containing what screen exit. So what is the procedure for identifying the customer exit? Already we have seen that yesterday. Let us do it. What is that? I'll go to what SC 93. Okay, I'll go to SC 93. Done. Sorry, yeah, SC 93. What is that? Is asking transaction code. What you have to do? We have to identify the main program of your transaction code. What is the relevant transaction code here? MP01. So let me give MP01. Done. I'll click on what display. Done. So for this program, for this transaction code, what is the package they give? ME. So we should not check for the package of the T code. We should check the package of the main program. So let us navigate to the program. This is my program. I'll double click on this. Done. I got the program. Okay. So for this program, I need to identify what package. How do you identify? I'll choose the menu. Go to what attributes. Go to attributes. Done. So you can see here what is the package name here. Me is a package. So in this case also the package of the main program and the package of the transaction code are what same. But as I told you yesterday, it may not be same in every case. Okay. But in this case also it is same. So I got the package name of the main program. What is the package name here? ME is a package name. Done. So once we got the package name, I need to check whether that particular package contains any customer exits or not. So where do we check? In SC84, I'll go to SC84, Business Repository Information Systems. In SC84, what you have to do under what? Enhancements. If you expand that, we have baddies and we have customer exits. Let me expand customer exits. Done. I'll double click on what? Enhancements. When I double click on this enhancements, done. It is asking me what? Package name. What is the package we got? Meena. So I'll provide the package name as me. Yesterday the package name of that XD01 main program was what? VS. And in that package, when we have searched, we got only one customer exit. So I'll double click on when I click on execute here after providing the package name. It is showing you what? It is showing you many customer exits. So again, yesterday we had only one customer exit. We directly went to S mode. We identified the components and we read the documentation, and we came to a conclusion saying that that customer exit was suitable for our requirement. So here it is showing you what? Many customer exits. So again, no one will tell us what is the customer exit we need to implement. It is the responsibility of the ABAP developer to identify what? Suitable, to identify the suitable customer exit. How to identify? We need to take, we need to check the descriptions here. You can observe here, I got some descriptions. These descriptions may not give you the complete information or may not give you the exact information. So I need to check the components of that customer exit. I need to read the documentation. Okay, I need to check the signature of that function module exits. Then we need to come to a decision which is appropriate for a requirement. Sometimes, even after doing all these things also, it will not be clear whether it is suitable for our requirement or not. So I may get some 2-3 exits which look similar. So what we will do, we will provide some dummy implementation. We will provide dummy implementation for those one or two customer exits. We'll put the breakpoints, dummy implementation, not the actual implementation. Just we'll try to implement them with some dummy implementation. You'll put the breakpoints, okay, and you'll test your transaction code. So at the appropriate place, an appropriate customer exit will be triggered. Based on the triggering, we'll get an idea whether it is appropriate for our requirement or not. I repeat once again, you may come across n number of customer exits or n number of baddies in a particular transaction. So we need to identify the components of each customer exit or each baddie. We need to read the documentation so that we'll get some information related to your requirement. Even after doing all this thing, if you are not sure which is the actual customer exit or baddie, what you will do, whichever customer exit or baddie you feel appropriate, you will try to implement that one or more customer exits or baddie with some dummy implementation, and you'll put the breakpoints, and then you'll test your transaction code with different data. At the appropriate place, an appropriate customer exit or baddie will be triggered. Based on the triggering, you'll get an idea whether it is suitable for your requirement or not. Rajesh, is it clear?
Yes, Sridhar, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
so even if you're having 10-15 years of experience also, I cannot say that this is appropriate for my requirements. It is not possible at all. Okay, that is the reason I told you yesterday. Identifying the suitable enhancement is the most important thing. That itself is a 90% of your job. Once you get the suitable enhancement, implementation is only 10%. The implementation logic is very small, but identifying the suitable one is what important. So in this case, what is my requirement? I need to plug what? Additional fields. Why we have to plug additional fields? To capture some additional data. So what I need to do? I need to check for customer exit containing what? Screen exit. Okay. Since my requirement is to plug additional fields, I need to check for a customer exit containing what? Screen exit. Yesterday we had only one customer exit and that contains only one function exit. So here I need to look for a customer exit which is having what? Screen exit. So if you go back to that particular list, yeah, let me take it one by one. What is the first one here? AMPL 0001. AMPL 0001. What is the short description here? See, user subscreen, user subscreen for additional data on what? AMPL. So by looking at this description only, I feel it is appropriate for my requirement. What is that? User subscreen for additional data on AMPL. So what I told here, if you go back to this discussion, I told that I cannot add the additional fields directly on the main screen. Most of the time, the additional fields are added inside what? Subscreen. And that subscreen in the runtime will sit on top of what? Subscreen area in the runtime. So by looking at this description, it is understood that this is for nothing but what? Screen exit. Na? They are talking about what? Additional data. So even after looking at this, I am not clear on that. So what I'll do, let me take my customer exit name, AMPL 0001. Done. So let me go to that. What is the T code I have to go? SMOD now. So I'll go to SMOD /wo. It will keep the current session and open for new session. So I'll go to SMOD T code. It's the loading this. Oh my god. I'll try to change the server in 1 or 2 days. I don't know what is the issue. Okay, so I'll go to what SMOD T code. What is the enhancement? What is the customer will be identified? ANPL 0001. ANPL 0001. So first thing you have to do is my requirement is what to plug the additional field. So what type of customer exit we require? Screen exit now. So check whether this customer exit contains any screen exit. So I'll choose components. When I display, good. You can see it. It is showing me what? How many function exit? 3 function exits. Let me put the cursor here. I'll click on this what? Navigate down button. Yeah, only 3 function exits are there. Done. Let me go back. Yeah. So we have 3 function exit, but my requirement is not function exit now. We require what screen exit. So yes, you can see it. Here we have what screen exit. Yesterday this was blank in that particular customer exit. In the yesterday's case, what was that this thing? SAP MF02D. This was the customer exit. This customer exit was having only what? One function exit without any menu exit, without any screen exit. Okay. Now in the today's case, AMPL 0001, this customer exit has got 3 function exits, 0 menu exits, and 1 screen exit. I'm having some information here, which means what? It is having what screen exit. So okay, done. So again, okay, I'm having the screen exit. We have to understand this information. Before that, let me check whether I'll get any documentation for this or not. And one more thing, what is our agenda here? We need to add what additional fields. So the main important thing is we cannot directly add the additional fields in the screen. I told that we have to add it inside what subscreen. Before doing it in subscreen also, what are the additional fields you want to add? First of all, those additional fields should be added in the appropriate base table. Should be added in the appropriate base table. So yesterday we had that XG01 requirement. What was the base table for that customer master? KN1. Similarly, every transaction will have some one or more base tables now. So related to this MP01 also, there might be one appropriate base table. There might be one appropriate base table. So we need to identify that base table. We need to identify that base table. First of all, add that additional fields in the table level. Once the fields are added at the table level, then we can add it at what screen level. So the first and foremost thing is we need to identify the base table, go to that particular standard base table, add the additional fields whatever you want. After adding that, then we can add them at what screen level. So again, it's not guaranteed that the functional consultant will give you that information. Most of the times, yes, functional consultant, when he is aware of that particular transaction code, definitely will aware about that related tables. He will provide that information, but again, you cannot rely everything on what functional consultant, and as the experience grows on, we'll be working as a techno functional consultant. Okay, so it is our job to identify what the base table for that particular transaction. It comes only by experience and what exposure. And sometimes by reading the documentation also, you may get the information about that particular base table. So what I'll do, I'll choose what documentation. Understood? I'll click on display. I want to check whether this is appropriate for my requirement or not. And also by reading the documentation, I may get some information related to that particular base table. So when I click on display, okay, this enhancement allows customers to specify their own criteria for the admissibility of what? Manufacturer parts. What is saying here? This enhancement allows the customers to specify their own criteria for the admissibility of manufacturer parts. The procedure is as follows. What they are saying, you define your fields in the include what? CI underscore AMPL. So what I told, if you want to do that screen enhancement, first of all you have to add the additional fields in the base table. So base table is nothing but the standard table. So in the standard tables, I cannot add the additional fields directly. There are two ways of adding the additional fields in the standard tables. What are those two ways? One way is we need to check whether that particular standard table contains what whether that standard tables contains what? Customer include. So some of the standard tables may contain some includes starting with what? CI underscore. This is called a what? Customer include. So as part of this customer include, we can add what? Additional fields. If this customer include is not available, the other way of adding the additional fields is what? Through append structure. Am I clear? Through what? Append structure. So I'm going very slowly because for any kind of screen enhancement, the approach will be same. Okay, so try to understand the approach. So don't be in a hurry in implementing that. Okay, so first of all, you have to identify the base table and we have to add the additional fields. How we can add the additional fields? We need to check whether that base table contains any customer include. If it is having that customer include, we need to double click on that customer include and add the additional fields. If this customer include is not available, the other way of adding the additional fields is what? Through append structure. So if you observe here, what they are saying, you define your fields in the include what? CA underscore what? AMPL. So if you eliminate this CA underscore, the rest of the part is nothing but your base table. If you eliminate the CA underscore part, the rest of the part is nothing but what? Your base table name. So what is the base table name here? AMPL. Okay. I got the base table name. The base table name is AMPL. What is the next thing you are saying? First of all, you have to add the fields in that. Done. You specify these fields in the subscreen. And then we have third and fourth step. We'll discuss that later on. So let me close. So by reading the documentation, I understood that this is related to the screen exit because they're talking about what? Additional fields. So where you have to add the additional fields in which table? AMPL. So what I'll do now? Let me go to what? AMPL. Okay, let me go to AMPL. So I'll go to SC11. SC11. What is the base table name? AMPL. I cannot open this any standard table in what? Change mode. It will ask you for what? Access key. Okay, it will ask you for access key. So let me open it in display mode. So already this table has got how many fields? It has got some 14 fields. We are not bothered about the existing fields. Our job is to add the additional field. So what is the first thing I have to do? I need to check whether this table is having any customer include. Already in the documentation, we came to know that it is having the customer include. Still, you can search here. Customer include always starts with what? CA underscore. So let me search for CA underscore AMPL. CA underscore followed by your the table name. That is a naming convention generally most of the times. Yeah, good. You can see here we have what? CA underscore AMPL dot include. So in this table, we are having this include. Going forward, we'll see some more examples related to screen enhancements. We'll come across some standard tables which doesn't have what? This particular customer include. So at that time, we'll go for what? Append structure approach. So that at that time we'll discuss about append structure. Done. So now we are having this customer include. So this customer include is reserved for what? User modification. So I need to double click on this include. I need to double click on this include. If it is the first time, it will ask you to create that particular include. So let me double click on this. Done. What is saying here? The structure is not available. Create the structure. Yes, I'll say done. So it has opened that particular customer include in what? Editable mode. You add the additional field. So let me give the additional fields name as something. Some description I'll give. Acha. Now again, we have to provide the field names now. So you can provide your own field names, appropriate field names. It is a job of developer to decide the field names. Most of the time the developer will decide the field names, but we have to sit with the functional consultant and understand what is the purpose of those additional fields. We have to understand with the functional consultant the purpose of the additional fields. When it's a purpose, whether you want to store the additional numeric data, additional date and time fields, or additional character fields. So we have to collect that particular information. So in this case, I want to add some two fields. I want to add two fields of type what character, because I want to store some additional string information, character information. Okay, so I need to add the additional fields. And one more thing is, whenever we are adding the additional fields in the standard table, it is recommended to follow customer namespace standards. Okay, whenever we are adding additional fields in the standard table, it is recommended to follow what? Customer namespace standards. Customer namespace standards. So when I say customer namespace standards, according to this, what are the additional fields we are going to add? Those additional field names should start with ZZ or should start with what? YY. This is the recommended naming convention to add the additional field names. Even if you don't start with ZZ or YY also, it will work fine. But the problem will come when we are doing the upgradation. So when you are upgrading to the higher version, SAP will check for this particular naming standards. That is the reason, to avoid that issues at the time of upgradation, better we follow the recommended standards. So what are the recommended standards? We have to follow the customer namespace standard, that is the field names. The additional field names should start with what? ZZ or what? YY. So let me give the field name as ZZ. I'll give some component name, any name you can give. I'll give competitor name, ZZ competitor name, any meaningful name. Then I'll choose what here? Types. Then I'll choose types. Component types. Again, most of us are, it is always expected that we know ABAP. So we can add the additional fields either by referring to the direct data type or by referring to what? Data elements and domains. It is always recommended to go for what? Data elements and what? Domain. So here I'll give the component type, nothing but what? I'll give the field name. Sorry, I'll give the data element name. Let me give the data element name as Z computator name. Since it is my custom data element, you have to start the custom objects with what? Z or Y na. So I'm giving the data element as Z computator name. I don't know whether it is available or not. When I press enter, if it is available, it will display the data type or size, or else it will prompt you to create that. So let me press enter. What is saying here? It is not active, means it is not available. Let me double click on this and create the data element. So again, we should not focus on these things. As an ABAP consultant, we already know how to add the fields in the structure at table. Okay, I'll double click on this, create the type. Yes, I'll save it in the local object. Done. It is asking what you want to create. I want to create a data element. So I'll choose continue. I'll provide some short description. Domain, I'll give the domain name as ZCMP name. ZCMP name. The data element name and domain name can be same or it can be different. So here wantedly I gave a different domain name, ZCMP name. I'll press enter. If I press enter, if the domain is available, it will display the data type and size. Otherwise, you have to create that particular domain. So let me press enter. It is saying no active domain is available. Done. I need to create this particular domain. I'll double click on this. Create the domain. Yes. I'll give some description. Done. Data type. I'll give it as character of something 20. Okay. Activate your domain. Save the domain. Check for the syntax error. Activate the domain. Done. Domain is activated. Domain is activated. Go back, and already we know as part of data element we will maintain the field label so that that label will appear automatically on the screen wherever it is used. So I'll go to what field at the data element level. As part of field level, I'll maintain some medium label. I'll give the medium label as computator name so that wherever this data element is referred, the label will be picked automatically. So I'll choose computator name. Activate your domain. Sorry, activate your data element. So data element is also created. Let me go back. So I got the data type and size. Let me create another field name, ZZ computator address. Okay, types what is this Z computator address. Some name, some data element name. I'll press enter. It is not available. It's let me quickly create this. I'll choose data element. Continue. I'll provide some description. Some description. Domain, I'll give it as something ZCMP address. No active domain is available. Done. I'll double click on this. I'll save it in the local object. Create the domain. Yes. I'll provide the description here. Some description. This I'll give it as something character of 25. Something. Okay. Activate your domain. Domain is activated. Let us maintain the label also for this. I'll give it something meaningful labels. Okay, computator, because we know the purpose of the field. So here I want to capture the computator details. So that's the reason I'm giving the labels as so and so. Activate your data element also. Done. Okay. Then as usual, we have to give the enhancement category now. So I'll choose extras enhancement category. We already know all these things in our basic ABAP. Okay. So I'll choose can be enhanced character type or memory. Done. Okay, so we are done with what? Creating the additional field. Save it, check for the syntax error, done. Activate this. This activation will definitely take some time. Let me activate. Okay, so I'm trying to activate. Errors occurred when activating. Why was current enhancement category is incorrect? Okay, scroll down. Okay, so done. So it is giving the warnings related to existing structures. I'm not bothered about this. Let me go back. Is it activated? Yes. I'm bothered about my fields only. I'm not bothered about the existing fields. Then it is activated. No problem. So let me go back. Right. So you can see here. If I go back and redisplay the table. Okay. So you can see as part of this AMPL table, somewhere at the end, you can see we have what? CA underscore AMPL, which has got what? Two fields. Done. It has got two fields. So am I clear? So we are able to add what? Additional fields in the standard table through what? Customer include. If customer include is not available, we have to go for an append structure that we'll see in the coming examples. Acha. So initially, assume that our requirement was adding only two fields. We have added and we have added those fields at the screen level also. At later point of time in the business, again the customer may come to you and say that you want some more additional fields. So what you have to do again, just double click on this structure. At that time it will not ask you for creating this, it will already created. So double click on this, open this in change mode and add the additional fields. Understood? So in the same customer include we need to keep on adding the additional fields. So first step is done. We have added what? Additional fields. We have added the additional fields. Any questions so far? Okay, so if there are no questions, right. What is the next requirement? I need to add these additional fields at the screen level. So as I told you, most of the times these additional fields cannot be placed directly on the normal screen. They are added as part of a subscreen, and that subscreen will come and sit on top of what? Subscreen area. So let me go back to the test mode. Identify the components once again. This is my customer exit. I'll choose components display. Done. So we need to collect this information. So see here, we need to understand this first. So what is that they gave here? Calling screen it seems. Okay. Calling screen. What is the calling screen name they gave? Calling screen program name. SAP LM BAM it seems. SAP LM BAM. Done. Then they gave the number here. Some number they gave. Nothing but I think this is main screen number. Main screen number they gave it as 120. Done. Then they gave the subscreen area name user 0001. So this is subscreen area. This is a subscreen area. Done. Next called screen it seems. Done. Then this is your number. Subscreen number. Earlier one is main screen number, this is subscreen number. What they are saying, shortage subscreen without field. So why I collected this information means, already I told, we require the knowledge of basic ABAP, module pool. In module pool programming, how do you call the subscreens? What is the syntax for calling subscreens in module pool? Call subscreen. This we already expected to know. Call subscreen area, including subscreen program name followed by subscreen number. Okay, so this is the syntax for calling the what subscreens in what module pool. Call subscreen area including subscreen program name followed by what subscreen number. So what is the subscreen area they gave here? User 0001. What is the subscreen program name they gave? So this calling screen is basically the main screen. This is nothing but your what normal screen program. Okay, and this is your called screen is nothing but your what subscreen program. Okay, so subscreen program name is what? SAPLX AMP. What is the subscreen number here? 1000. The subscreen number is what? 1000. Am I clear? Call subscreen area including subscreen program name followed by what subscreen number. So I got this information. So let me go and check whether whatever I collected whether that is valid or not. So what is the main screen program name? Main program name, when I say normal screen program here, nothing but main program. This is nothing but what? Main program. What is the main program name here? SAP LMBM. What is the main screen number? 120. Where I can check this information in module pool screen painter. SC51. So let me go to SC51. Am I clear? I'll just go to SC51. SC51 screen painter. Done. What is the program name here? Main program name SAPLM BAM. SAPLM BAM. So let me give the program name. Right. Then what is the screen number we collected? Main screen number 120. Yeah? Let me try to provide that. 120. I'll click on display. Am I clear? I don't know whether this is available or it should be available. When I click on display, I clicked on the display. Good. It has opened that. You can see now If you go to the attributes, good. What is the screen type here? The screen type is what? Normal screen. Okay, done. And you can see here, again, we know in module poll, where we can use this syntax. We can use this syntax only in what? Flow logic section. So if you observe the flow logic here, if you observe the flow logic, what they have done, you see, how do you call a subscreen? What is the syntax I said? Call subscreen. But this is subscreen to the customer knows what is the syntax they're following. Call customer subscreen. I'll come to this point later on. So they're calling that call customer subscreen, subscreen area name, including subscreen program name followed by what? Subscreen number. So we are not bothered about that. Somewhere they are calling the customer subscreen. Let me go to the layout. So this is what type of screen? Normal screen. So as I told you in the earlier discussion, on the normal screen you'll have what? Subscreen area. What is the subscreen area proposed by SAP user 0001? So let me open that. I'll go to the layout. It is opening with the layout editor. Good. So you can see here, this is my normal screen, and on this normal screen already there are some fields, standard fields given by SAP. Somewhere on the normal screen you can see they give some empty area. If I double click on this, good, what is saying here? Subscreen area user 0001. So whatever the subscreen we are going to construct with that additional fields in the runtime, that subscreen will come and sit on top of this particular subscreen area. So in this case, the subscreen area is given by what? SAP. The subscreen area is given by what? SAP. Understood? So here you can observe this is a subscreen area name user 0001. So I need to design the subscreen in the runtime. Subscreen will come and sit on top of this particular subscreen area in the runtime. Okay. So done. I collected this information. This is okay. Fine. But what is the agenda now? We need to add the additional fields on the subscreen now. What is the subscreen number? 1000. What is the subscreen program name? SAP LX AMP. This is the main program. This is a normal screen number, and this is a subscreen area. What is the subscreen program name? SAP LX. From where I collected this information? From SMART T code. SMART T code. So SAP LX AMP is a subscreen program, and the subscreen number is proposed by SAP itself. What is that? 1000 it seems. Again, let me give that. SAP LX AMP. SAP LX AMP. SAP LX. What is the subscription number? 1000. So here I'll try to give what? 1000. I'll give 1000. Okay, done. Okay, I'll try to display. I don't know if it is available or not. When I display, good. What is saying here? The screen SAP LX AMP 1000 does not exist. So SAP has proposed that particular subscreen number. It is our job to create the subscreen. Okay, they propose the subscreen number as what? 1000. Understood? So we need not worry about that number. SAP has proposed that we have to use it. So I need to create this subscreen now. Hope is it clear to everyone? We need to collect this information from SMOD and correlate with this syntax. Any questions so far? Okay, done. So it is saying that that particular screen does not exist now. So I need to create that. So I'll click on what? Create. And when I click on create, it is not asking me any access key because it is given by what? SAP itself. So I'll provide the short description. I'll just give some meaningful description. Subscreen for what? Additional fields. Subscreen for what? Additional fields. Now actually I need to create this as subscreen. I need to create this as subscreen, but let me try to create it as normal screen only. Let's see what happens. Technically you have to create it as subscreen, but I'm trying to create a normal screen. I'll go to layout. Let me design the layout. I'll design the layout. I clicked on the layout button. It's taking time. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Yeah, good. It has opened. So it has opened the blank editor. Since it is a subscreen, I'll just reduce the size, not compulsory. If you don't reduce, unless you will get the scroll bar. So I'm just reducing it according to my requirement. Done. Okay, it's not compulsory to reduce. So what I have to do now, I have to place additional fields now. Where those additional fields are available in the AMPL table now. So I'll choose them, already we know how to design the dictionary fields in module pool. Yesterday only I told, or day before yesterday in the first session I told, what is that? For this crosser, the prerequisite is what basic ABAP. Okay, so I'll choose go to secondary window, go to secondary, sorry, go to secondary window. What is that? I have to choose dictionary slash program fields. What is my table name where we added the additional fields? AMPL, right? Provide the table name, click on get from dictionary. Done. Good. You can see here at the bottom it is showing me the additional fields na? ZZ commutator name and ZZ commutator address. It is going to pick which label? Medium label. As part of data element I maintain medium only now. So if you want, you can maintain all labels, short label, long label, all the things. Whichever label you want to pick, you select that particular radio button. So I'm going for medium by default. Continue. Done, 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 done. I got it. Okay, I got the labels from the data element. And what is the name of this field? See, when I double click on that, AMPL hyphen ZZ com name, table name hyphen field name, AMPL hyphen ZZ comp address. Done. That's all. Save it. I'm saving it in the local object. Check for the syntax error. No errors. Let me activate this. I'm activating my maintain in logon language, original language. So I'll just click on what? Original language. Doesn't matter. Done. Activated this. Go back. Activate everything. Activate this. Activate everything. Activate this. Done. So what I have done here? What I have done? I created the uh, subscreen. What is the subscreen number proposed by SAP? 1000. Okay, and on that subscreen, I have designed my additional fields. Now, what you have to do? We need to plug this enhancement in your implementation. Now, how do you plug? You'll go to what? CMOD. So, what are the two things I have done? I've added the fields at the table level first in the form of customer include. That I designed that subscreen in SC51 screen painter with that additional fields. Now you have to plug that enhancement. We need to plug that enhancement to your project. So go to what? CMOD, right? I can go for new project or I can go for yesterday's project. What is yesterday's project? ZXD01 project now. I can choose this. So before I do the changes, you need to deactivate. The yesterday we have activated that. Before doing any changes, you deactivate. Or else go for what? Creating what? New project. Okay, so I can do anything here, doesn't matter. I'll just deactivate the project. Activation of project has been undone. I'll open it in what? Chain mode. In this project, if you go to what? Enhancement assignment, already this customer is assigned. We are not bothered about that. What is the current customer exit? AMPL 0001. So what I am trying to show is this customer exit is related to which transaction code? XD01. This customer exit is related to which T code? MP01. So a project can be assigned with what? Any number of what? Enhancement across the transaction, doesn't matter. So AMPL 0001, I'll press enter, done. It is assigned. Now go to components. Yeah, we are bothered about this only, na? Yeah, this one. So I've just what created the additional screen. I created the subscreen with the additional fields. Let me just activate this. Okay, I have not implemented any code here. I want to check whether that subscreen is visible to me or not. So I've activated the enhancement. Am I clear? Make sure that everything is in green color. So just click on activate, done. Go back, activate your project also. Okay, done. Now let me test it. Okay, let me test it. So I'll go to what? MP01. What I'm trying to test? I'm trying to check whether my additional fields are visible or not. So I'll go to MP01, done. So for practice purpose, give some material number. What is the material number I'm giving? J4360. I'll press enter. I'll press enter. Acha. Did you got that additional fields anywhere? No. So this is not the appropriate screen. So let me choose some entry here. I'll choose Reynolds. I'll click on what? Details. I'll click on details. Good. When I click on details, I got the runtime error. What is the runtime error I got? See, wrong screen type. The screen either been defined incorrectly or is being used incorrectly. What is the description they gave here? What happened? Attribute screen type with the characteristics normal screen or subscreen determines how the screen is used. This error occurs if a normal screen is used as what? Subscreen or what? Vice versa. This error occurs if a normal screen is used as subscreen or vice versa. Screen 1000 therefore has the wrong type. So wantedly at the time of creating the subscreen 1000, I gave the screen type as normal screen. So if you choose an inappropriate screen type, you will get this particular runtime error. Means what is happening here? You are trying to load, you are trying to click on the details button. At that time, it is trying to load that subscreen. It is trying to call that subscreen. But that screen was not marked as subscreen. It is marked as what? Normal screen. That's why I got the runtime error, wrong screen type. So what I have to do? Go back to that screen painter. What is that subscreen program? This one, this is a subscreen number. Open it in change mode, original language. Go to what? Attributes tab. Choose the screen type as what? Subscreen. Choose the screen type as subscreen. Activate this once. It's activated. Come back. Activate this. Done. Active object generated. Done. Let me test it now. That is adjustment error. That's all. I'll go to what? MP01. Provide some material number. I gave it a J4360. I'll press enter. Done. I'll choose one of the entry for easy recognition. I'll go for Reynolds. I'll click on what? Details. Good. Am I clear? So I got the additional fields. So understood. I got the additional fields in the third screen. I didn't got it in what? In this screen, I didn't got it in what? The initial screen. Am I clear? So I cannot add the fields wherever I want. It will be added at the appropriate place, which is given by what? SAP. So I'm able to see the additional fields. I'm able to see the additional fields. Okay. Now I'll enter some competitor name here. I'll enter some competitor name. I'll give something IMAX and something Hyderabad. Some data I'm giving. Okay. So what is the purpose of additional fields? Not for just placing it now, for capturing what? Additional data. So I gave some data here. I gave some data. Do you have save button here? No. Let me go back. Do you have save button here? Yes. I'll click on save. Good. What is saying here? Data is what? Change. So I need to go and check in my table whether the data is captured or not. So I'll go to what? SC11. What is the table name? AMPL. Display that. I'll go to what? Contents. Records. I'm checking for the records. How many entries are there? 24 entries only done. Now what I'll do here? What I'll do here? I'll give the material number. Okay, I'll give the material number. Okay, what is that I gave there? J4360. Na? When I'm testing. So I'll give that J4360. Execute this. Acha. I maintain the data for which entry Reynolds. Na? So let me double click on this. Let me double click on this entry and check. What happened here? The additional fields are there, but the data is not captured. So what I'm trying to show is, what I'm trying to show is, just adding the fields is not sufficient. Okay, adding the fields is not sufficient. The data also should be captured now, so it is not getting captured. So now further I need to write some code logic. I need to write some code logic to capture the additional data. We are able to see the additional fields on the screen, but the data is not captured. So how to capture the data? Again, it requires some another half an hour time that I'll discuss in the next class, that is on Monday. Okay, so here we are able to add the fields, but I am not able to capture the data. How to capture the data? We'll continue this example in the next class, that is on Monday. We'll have the next class on Monday around 6:30. Any questions for today? Please ask.
No questions on these. Just a
Yeah.
quick question on uh, when will we get the access to SAP to practice or something like that? Is that a question for you or Sridhar?
No, I am Sridhar only. I am Sridhar only. See, Madan, we don't provide any server access.
Oh,
Okay.
is it okay? Okay.
We don't have server access, but what we can do is, if you want, I'll provide the vendor details.
Okay.
You can directly call them or you can mail them.
Okay.
So they'll provide it on the rental remote access. They'll charge some 500 to 600 per month.
Per month. Okay. Okay.
Per
That's
month.
good.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
not
you
bad.
can directly contact them and you can do it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Even
Please.
whatever the server I'm using now, it is
Hmm.
also rental server only. It is
Okay.
also rental server.
So will that access give us ABAP? ABAP.
Yeah, yeah,
This kind of.
same thing. Yes, everything you can practice.
Yeah, please share that information.
Sure, sure.
So,
I'll buy. Yeah,
so
tell me.
Mahesh and Sridhar,
Mine, same.
what?
See,
Oh, same. Mahesh
my
and
original,
Sridhar.
my original name is Sridhar, but
Okay.
when I created this GoToMeeting software, I think I
Okay.
gave it as Mahesh.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, okay. All right.
right,
Okay, that clears me.
right.
Thank
Yeah.
you on that. Yeah.
I'll provide that vendor details in the mail. By afternoon, I'll collect it. I'll provide. You can
Okay.
directly mail them and refer my name. Say that you have been referred by Sridhar at the rate
Okay.
Gensoft. Okay,
Okay.
so that they'll
Okay.
respond.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, yes. Okay, I'll share it to everyone. So those are interested to take that rental server access, you can contact them. But please refer my name because they have some issues. So if you refer my name, they'll respond and they'll provide you the access. You can test that for 1 or 2 days. If you're comfortable and if you have any issues, you can reply back to them. They'll rectify it. After 1 or 2 days, if you make the payment, they'll extend it for 1 month. They'll charge some 500 to 600 per month. Okay. So, any other questions? So next class will be on Monday. As I told you, it will be Monday to Friday. I'll try to start this class sharp by 6:30, but okay, it's getting late for me. But I'll try to start by 6:30. Okay. So we'll meet again on Monday. Whatever we discussed today, the notes and the recording, whatever it is, I'll try to share it by end of today. Hope everyone has received the recording and material till yesterday. Right. So if you have any issues, you can mail me. Right. Sure. And Madan, one important thing, did you called? That is your number, right? Morning you called on
Yeah,
WhatsApp. Yeah.
that's my number. Yes, I.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
have any issues now, you can just WhatsApp me or you can mail me. Okay.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Sure. I'll. We'll talk about the payments, all those things. Okay.
Yeah. Payment related, our people will get back to you anyhow. So don't
All right.
worry about that aspect. Okay.
Fine. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Sridhar.
Anything related to subject part, you can contact me.
Okay, Mahesh. Oh, okay, Sridhar. Yeah. Thanks.
Sure.
Bye.
Then I'm winding off. So we'll meet again on Monday. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.